So, back here with Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, where we're in a very heated part of this trial section. We haven't died yet, but we're sort of like teetering on the edge of a knife here. We've been getting the right contradictions, but sort of telling them in the wrong way. And it's been a little while since I recorded, this game. Because there's been a lot of other stuff on. So forgive me if it takes me a minute just to get reoriented with everything. 2 notes. Number 1, I didn't even consider this, but the, I said I'm willing to believe that, because they, over that, where's that tape recorder? Listen, I believe our only confirmation that this actually occurred at 7:10 p.m. was that, you can hear the end of day chime 10 minutes before, your O'Connor / your Goner. But that could easily have just been faked and played, like, someone plays the sound on their phone into the tape recorder. That's not as concrete evidence as they made it sound to be, and as I took it to be at first. A few episodes ago, I was mentioning how the Apollo Justice is the Pursuit theme, right? It was the one I was talking about. It sounded like Monkey Ball. Well, the eccentric theme from this game, that one that's like da, 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 that one has a part that reminds me so much of the World 4 theme from Bomberman Jetters for GameCube and PS2. There's a part in the eccentric theme that goes like da 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 bum ba da dun dun da 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 ba 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 bum. And there's a bit much like that in the Bomberman one where it's like it's a little faster paced, but in this is horrible underground crystal world. It sucks. We'll play it on the channel someday, and I'll die there a lot. But there's a bit in the music that goes like and it reminds me a lot of that. So now we know that Ace Attorney is canon in both the worlds of Monkey Ball and Bomberman. So, the more you'll know. But that's enough of that. Let's get back into this. What was the last contradiction? Right, that Hugh was like, I didn't see anyone that day, and apparently he had a very important meeting. So what the hell? Don't you find that interesting? Where'd you get that? The keyword here is important. You say you were at the archery range all day. But you also said a few students came and went while you were there. Well, I assumed he went to classes before that. He wasn't just meditating from like 9 till 7 p.m. or whenever the school opens. That doesn't sound like a great place for an important talk.
Well, the entire campus was buzzing with activity before the mock trial. Where could they have possibly had a private conversation?
I thought about that too. But the situation changes after the last bell. What's this now? Everyone leaves. The witness stayed after the last bell in order to have a private talk with the victim. Am I right, Mr. O'Connor?
This is insane.
Objection!
Must we go through this yet again? I suppose you also have no evidence, as usual?
No, I don't have any direct evidence, except for the book that says Meet with Hugh O'Connor today, written by the victim. However, the witness was meditating until after the last bell, and he attempted to conceal his private meeting with the victim. First Robin, now me. Who are you going to accuse next? You're just another unscrupulous attorney looking to get ahead. Don't let him get to you. He's definitely hiding something. Yeah, just look at his face. Oh, right, you have superpowers. You don't have to guess. I mean, he was supposed to meet with the victim around her estimated time of death. Well, on the day of her estimated death, there's no time mentioned, right? Yeah, there's no time mentioned. But on the day, yes, I see your point. Yeah, absolutely. I had my suspicions about Robin, but Hugh seems just as guilty. These 3 are the only possible suspects, after all. The more we drive home that point that it could only have been these 3, the less I'm willing to bend to it. Mr. O'Connor, answer me this. Did you meet with Professor Court that day? Because there's also just a thing from a writing perspective. So unless this is some kind of Juniper imposter, we're pretty sure Juniper didn't do it, because she's let off after that, and because it's Juniper. As far as Robin, she's been portrayed thus far as a pretty sympathetic character, one who has had to go through something pretty harrowing. And I scrolled and it's counted as a sorry. It's just the way they've written her so far. It doesn't feel like we're all of a sudden gonna I could see a character who's written to have something very tragic going on with them killing for that reason. That's a thing in Ace Attorney, but her tragedy is very much separate from the details of the victim, as far as we can tell. Unless Professor Court is her long-lost mother or something, who forced her into this role. But so it seems writing-wise that it wouldn't make any sense for it to be Robin. Even Hugh, he seems more the type because he's all about perfection and all, but they've also painted him to be such an obvious dick that it doesn't seem right somehow. Anyway, Mr. O'Connor, just answer me this. Did you or did you not meet with Professor Court that day? Sorry, Mr. Jailbird Prosecutor. I don't mean to steal your thunder, but I have something to say.
If it will save me some trouble, then by all means, speak away.
If you would recall, Miss Cykes, the voice on the tape recorder was female. Knowing that, I'd like you to explain how I could possibly be a suspect. Well, it's not unheard of. If Robin was secretly a girl, I demand you testify about your true gender identity. But also, I testify that you were there, or I don't testify, I'm the lawyer. I stipulate that you were there because someone screamed, "You're O'Connor." Perhaps it was court screaming, "You're O'Connor," or "You're here, O'Connor," or something like that before you killed her. In which case, that meeting is a perfect setup for that. Knowing that, I'd like you to explain how I could possibly be a suspect. Oh, he has a point.
Impressive. Golden boy here does shine gold indeed. Care to take the reins? You're more than capable of prosecuting this case.
I'm a defense attorney. That's incorrect. Sorry, but I'm studying to be a lawyer.
What a pity. To think such genius is to be wasted on mere lawyering. At last, your moment is here, Cykes Dono. Time to refute Golden Boy's statement and prove that you're the young prodigy worthy of the badge on your lapel.
Can you lay any more pressure on? The voice is unmistakably female, so there's no point in arguing about that. Yeah, you're right. In which case, we have to argue about what they're actually saying. To whom does the voice on the tape really belong to? The victim makes the most sense, right? The voice on the tape belongs to the victim. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Objection! Are you mad? The voice in the recording says, "You're a goner." That is something a murderer shouts at their victim, not the other way around.
Yeah, that is a problem. You're a goner. You're a goner. You're a goner. Athena? You're a goner. You a goner. Hugh a corner. Hugh O'Connor? Wait a second! Whoa, Athena, you're scaring me here. You're scared? I'm terrified for even coming up with this. With what? Prosecutor Blackwell, you wanted to know. It's a shame they just had to tell us like that. I figured it out. Why did you think you needed to tell me that, but not make it more obvious that the bomb was the murder weapon in the first case? All they said was that they got hit in the head. You know how many things you can hit someone in the head with? I still maintain that the giant bomb case was a perfectly viable murder weapon. Prosecutor Blackwell, you wanted to know if I am worthy of my badge. Well, I'm about to show you why. Despite my age, I'm able to proudly wear this at all.
Oh. Then can I take it you won't be changing your argument? Still, it stands that it's a bit odd for the victim to be the one yelling, "You're a goner."
I agree, if that's what the victim was saying, but it's not.
I assume you have something to back up your assertion, Mr. Cykes.
Not exactly, but you don't have to add fuel to his fire, Your Honor. If it is indeed Professor Court's voice on the tape, then she was shouting because she was being threatened by O'Connor. "You're a goner" was a threat the witness shouted at a victim. What? No. She shouted, "You're O'Connor," or something to do with O'Connor. As has been mentioned countless times, the voice in the recording is female. How the devil do you reckon it belongs to the witness? Oh, right.
I'm confused how you could be confused about that, so without further ado, a penalty.
Fine, whatever. It's just splitting hairs. The point is, it's O'Connor is being said. Whether it was her responding to his threat or her scolding him, that's the same thing. No fair. 2 against 1. You're O'Connor. Just whatever. I get it. She was scolding O'Connor. I would like to call what? Why is that? That's dumb. The solve is that she's saying O'Connor, not a goner. So what's with that drop down just then? I would like to call one basic fact into question. Is that shout on the tape really saying, "You're a goner"? What are you up to now, Athena? Professor Court's planner says she was supposed to meet with the witness for an important talk. Perhaps our witness, despite being a genius, had done something wrong, and this made Professor Court get angry with him during their private meeting.
I don't see how this changes what we heard on the tape.
Well, if you want to see how it changes things, and then let's try a little experiment. Your Honor, I want you to yell at the witness as if you're mad at him. Shame on you, O'Connor. But, and this is important, use his full name.
Okay, let's see, Hugh O'Connor!
What did I do to deserve that? Yes, like that! Now try again, but faster. Hugh O'Connor! Hugh O'Connor, wait a second. No, this can't be. Objection! It totally can't be because it is. I think I'd spend the energy to lead you on this far if it wasn't true. But it is, Your Honor. Humans are not perfect. That's scientific fact. We sometimes mistake shadows for monsters or the wind for voices. Now that you mention it. You can do this, Athena. Just give the old guy one more little push. The voice on the tape recorder never was your O'Connor. That's only what we thought we heard when in fact it was the witness getting yelled at. The court will know that this is different from the selective hearing men are so good at. I think you're right, but what was that last part again? Never mind. The point is that the voice that was recorded isn't our client's. And since it was his victim scolding the witness, he must now join the list of suspects.
Objection! I had thought that testimony would suffice, but it seems it has come to this. I will not allow such fallacious quibbles to upend this case. The prosecution has one final piece of evidence to present to the court.
Whew, if you've only got one, this should be over in a jiffy.
Or at least take it to another investigation day.
Evidence? What's he gonna pull out now?
Feast your eyes on this photo and let me see that insolent look vanish from within them.
Whoa. That's her new costume on the painting in the back.
Let's see here.
Oh, it's a picture of the defendant and the victim. Oh, it's cute.
Let's see if there's anything off about this. She's got the book in her breast pocket in this one. She's wearing the green tracksuit. There's sort of a weird winch mechanism on the window here, and a sculpture right beside the window. The art room is above the stage, yes? We heard something smash, did we not? So it makes sense that this would be the thing that fell, because there wasn't enough rubble for it to have been those massive busts that broke. So if this is the rubble, and also they were unpainted, you'll recall. So if this is the remains of what really smashed, then I suppose we can... adds more evidence to a scuffle being here, and the clock reads 7:10. Oh, well that's especially weird, isn't it? Or 7:05 more like, sorry. And there's a painting of Juniper's later costume in the back. The photograph shows professor and student preparing for the mock trial together.
Wait, was this taken in the art room? The room where the murder occurred?
Indeed it was. But the revelations do not end there. Do you see the clock on the wall? It reads 7:05. A mere 5 minutes before the voice was recorded on the tape.
What?
The accused brutally stabbed the victim to death 5 minutes after this photo was taken. There are a few things that seem off about that, but I can't place them. All I know is it brings more context to certain things. A photo of the art room while preparations are being made, taken on the day of the murder. Do we have... where's our evidence it was taken on the day of the murder? That's what I want to know. It seems the defendant's culpability in this crime is quite obvious.
Hey, easy! I'm sorry, Your Honor, no metadata was presented for this photograph. This could have been taken any day. First of all, Junie was with Professor Court just 5 minutes before she was murdered. What now? Nothing I could say can change that fact.
Understand now. You can believe in your client all wish, but try as you might. Such misplaced faith will inevitably be cut down before the cruel, steely blade of truth. Listen, Missy. The person you'd like to save more than anyone else in the world, I'd be willing to wager that your defense isn't what they desire.
But... I became a lawyer so I could...
You still fail to understand. After so much pain and defeat, the courts are not the play yards of little children dressed as lawyers. So before you break your back in failure, run along home and grow up.
If he thinks I'm giving up now, he's got another thing coming. I have to find my inner strength if I ever hope to save him. But I can't think of any way to strike back. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. That's impossible! How can I smile under these circumstances, even if I forced it? This is badder than bad. Who knew Blackwell had that one waiting in the wings?
That was important, we just got bit. Save him. Who him? Him who? A father, an old flame, an old friend. A cousin, an uncle, a grandfather. A son! No, I don't know. Who is him? Unless the him refers to Blackwell, and Blackwell's the one she's hoping to save after all this, and that's why they have all this history. Let me not. There's no time to be theorizing about that. They'll tell us that in due time. Why didn't that twisted samurai just present it at the beginning? Yeah, usually when they withhold it, it means there's something damning in here. The painting sticks out like a sore thumb, but is this to say that this was the original costume or something? I don't know that there's any proof of that. Or is there anything off about what's her face's outfit? Juniper's at the moment. I don't see anything weird about this. Although, now that I remember, think about it, she didn't have that. I can't remember her having that tie on before, but we don't have any other pictures of her, so any of her pictures of her from the shoulders down. It probably was there. Wait, maybe this was his real plan. Was he just trying to show me how weak and powerless I am? Maybe he's right, because I really haven't got a clue. Who's the real killer? Who murdered Professor Constance Court? Robin Newman, a girl who had been forced to live a lie as a guy? Or was it Hugh O'Connor, the honor student who had met with Professor Court? There seems to be little reason to debate the defendant's guilt any longer. The time for a verdict has come, and we've been very weird to not mention Professor Means at all during this. Just throwing it out there. We have no idea where he was during any this time at all. And we know there was this massive conflict of ideals between them, though they were supposed to be friends. We never met with Professor Court to determine if that was true at all. We had no idea of their relationship from her side of their relationship, only what Professor Means told us of her, which when he was telling us about that, was the day of the mock trial, when she was already dead. So obviously if he was the murderer, he would want to be covering and telling everyone they were good friends at that point. The time for a verdict has come. Who is objectioning? Hugh, I guess. Objection! Objection! No! That's not gonna happen, man! What's the meaning of this? You can't interrupt a judge about to hand down a... Maybe, but false verdicts are a... No! What? Miss Newman, please explain yourself. Juniper's not the killer! I know, because I know who the real killer is. You do? You know who the real killer is. What is she up to now? Yep, I know, because the real killer is... me. What? It was me! I did it alone! Just me! Alright, that's interesting for a few things, for a few reasons. Number one, I assume she's just covering for Juniper because they're friends. But interesting that she would specifically bring up, I did it alone, just me. That makes it sound like the nature of the real murder was multiple people, which they showed us the three of them standing over the body in the beginning, but that seems wrong somehow to me. I don't get it. Why is she confessing? Miss Newman was witness near the stage. There's even a related photo of her. The more I think about it, the more There's what? Oh, you mean we don't have it anymore, but the one of the person wearing the cloak. Where the skin tone was wrong for it to be her. Yes, that one. Which, again, it's the only evidence that's her is that they were wearing the costume. The more I think about it, but they weren't even in the dressing room because there was a window on the door. The more I think about it, the more suspicious she seems. Robin Newman isn't the kind of guy who pins the blame on friends. Yeah, because she's not a guy. Just so he can walk free. Get it over with! Declare me guilty already! Hold it. It's gotta be you, I guess. Or maybe Juniper. Hold it! She does have the tie, never mind. Please, wait. Juniper, what are you doing? Thank you for all you've done, Athena. But you'll have to forgive me. I can't let my friends take the blame any longer. Junie, no! Don't do it! Hugh and Robin have done nothing wrong. They have absolutely no connection to this case. The real killer is me. I alone am responsible for the entire crime. What? Objection! Junie, you know that's not true. Hurry up and retract your statement. Alright, better yet, actually, Ted, can you make some can you testify about this so I can pick it apart? I'm afraid it is true. Forgive me, Athena. No. Objection. I still have 2 points of health left. Absolutely not. Order!
Will somebody please explain what's going on here? It's so obvious they're just covering for each other, Your Honor. Please, God. This is friendship and love, not villainy and murder.
I see right through your cheap ploy. School rules state that a prior conviction terminates one's eligibility to graduate. A guilty verdict here would make whatever dreams one had go up in a puff of smoke.
Oh, I wasn't aware.
Even meek little mice will fight when cornered. A pitiful spectacle, I might add. These vermin are trying to protect each other now that they've nowhere else to run. Oh, he's now gonna say that all three of them did it. Oh, shoot. I didn't even consider the possibility that he could do that, but he totally can. There's no reason he couldn't.
Protect each other? Wait, so was Robin just trying to protect Junie too? If so, then the real killer is...
Who's objectioning now? Hugh, I guess? Objection! This is the third time I thought it was him, but it actually was this time. This whole thing's a joke. He's gonna say he did it.
No, now it's Hugh's turn.
What? What is wrong with kids these days? I know what just crossed your mind, Miss Cykes. Whoa, it's a bow! It's a bow! You think I'm the killer, don't you?
Wow, he really is a genius. He even knows what you're thinking.
I think it's about time I told you the truth. And I'll even get right to the point. It was me. I did it.
Oh, they're all protecting each other now. Wait! What?
Ah, damn. Ah, shucks. Oh, that's bad because with them all confessing, Blackwell could just say, yeah, all three of them conspired to do it.
Now both potential suspects are claiming to be the real killer. I'm so confused right now.
If you still have doubts, how about I detail my murder plot? It's absolute genius. Please, one of you testify. Enough of this nonsense. This is a court of law, not the set of some high school drama.
Actually, you'd be surprised how often the two go inside.
I see I have no choice. I'm afraid I'll have to...
Hoy! Wait your baldness.
I'm sorry, Prosecutor Blackwell, but I'm in no position to hand down a verdict just yet.
Oh, good. Well, I thought you were just going to declare all three of them guilty.
I am hoping that the defense and prosecution can come up with some airtight evidence. That's why I'm giving you both the rest of the day to continue investigating this case.
Pinch me. I think I'm dreaming.
Fine. Do as you wish.
This brings today's proceedings to a close. Court is adjourned.
We get our health back in between court cases, right? Court days, right? Trial days. Oh, man. That was hairy for a bit, but... The three of them coming to each other's aids, I thought that was going to end in Blackwell just saying all three of them did it, but it mercifully, they created enough chaos that the judge wasn't able to hand down a verdict. So it was really the right thing to do on their part. Props to them. October 25th, Write Anything Agency.
Sorry, boss. I couldn't do it. You know that little bit of advice he gave me? The worst of times are when lawyers had to force their biggest smiles. I don't know exactly what you meant, but there was no way I could force a smile in that courtroom today. I'm just glad you remembered that. But now, how about relaxing a little? Relax! Not gonna happen! Junie, she asked me to defend her because she believes in me. Well, she did until she decided that I couldn't do it and then just tried to confess. Oh, no, actually, she probably knew what she was doing there and knew that the other three would back her up and it would call the whole thing to a standstill. She's pretty clever. But I felt completely helpless. If it weren't for their confessions, I'd...
But if this trial proceeds in the same manner and ends in the same way as the mock trial, would you not lose everything you've worked so hard to gain?
Well, I'll just have to make sure that doesn't happen then, won't I? No, I can't lose it all. Not now. You okay, Athena? You're turning kind of pale. I can't just stand around here. I'm going to finish the investigation.
Can it wait? I just took a batch of freshly made cookies out of my magic panties.
Thanks, but I better get going. Save me one for when I get back. Apollo, you wait here. I need to see Junie at the detention center first, right away. No, wait. I'm going with you. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but I better go too.
No problem. You two be careful. I'm not over that rubble. It was not nearly enough rubble to be both of the busts destroyed. There's something so weird about that. October 25th, detention center visitors room. I was pretty sure that was going to end that on the first trial day. I figured there'd be at least 2. I don't reckon it'll go as far as 3. In fact, sorry, I was told, but I think I forgot at some point that it's pretty rare after the
third game for any trial to go on 3 days.
Yeah, anyway, October 25th, Detention Center Visitors Room. Junie, please.
There's so much I need to ask Junie. What happened in court today? Where we go from here?
Oh! Well, now, fancy meeting you here.
Oh, Professor Means. What brings you here? I asked him to come. He arrived just a little before you. I wanted to ask him something. But first, Athena, I want to apologize for my sudden confession after you worked so hard to defend me. She was calling me Athena until just now. No, I should be the one apologizing. The whole thing spiraled out of my control. Athena, Don't worry! I'll really bring it tomorrow. I'll find something to prove your innocence. About that... Athena... I've been thinking of asking Professor Means to defend me. Huh?
I myself only just heard of this a moment ago.
Oh, that hurts. Oh. So she thinks Professor Means would be... No, I can't let this happen. Not with the way he wants to do things. Junie! I know, Athena, but will you please hear me out?
No! Alright, to-do list. Go visit Juniper, talk to Juniper, hang out with Juniper, propose to Juniper.
Listen, Junie, I'm a lawyer, okay? That's your attorney's badge, isn't it?
Oh, this is the same. Before we talk, this photograph, what can you tell me about it?
Junie, can you tell us anything about this? I don't really know what to say. She went silent.
Seems like she doesn't want to talk about it. Oh, that was unique that wasn't her generic one. I thought maybe her generic one had changed, but interesting. Was there any other evidence? We, showed her that, okay, she goes silent. So there are a few things she just sort of doesn't want to talk about, I guess. Interesting. Sorry, I guess this is quite dramatic. You were quite close. Anyway, why change lawyers? I'm not getting it for you! Huh?
Athena, do you actually think you or Robin could have committed this crime? The body was moved right before the mock trial. Besides Junie, they're the only ones.
Well, I mean, Miriam Scuttlebutt, but, I mean, she doesn't seem the type.
Who could move freely around the campus at that time. I'm sorry, Junie, but at this point, I can't rule them out. I was afraid she'd say that.
Juniper is seeking a lawyer who can clear all 3 of their names. Only I am capable of such a feat.
But how can you possibly prove that all 3 of them are innocent?
I am a results-oriented person. Come tomorrow, I won't fail to have the perfect piece of evidence ready.
That's suspicious too, in a way, though, isn't it? Surely the real killer would have the easiest time fabricating evidence to suggest that someone did or did not do it, because they know better than anyone what happened.
For the end really does justify the means, especially for me, Professor Aristotle Means.
You really don't like the sound of that.
But the other thing is, we just haven't met anyone else who seems suspicious enough.
I'm sorry, but just as you believe I'm innocent, I believe that my friends are innocent too. Alright. If that's how you really feel, we'll respect your decision. Apollo? But we want to continue our investigation. Could we ask you some more questions? Sure, I don't mind. Professor Means, would you like to stay and join our conversation?
No, that sounds boring as shit, considering I'm just going to ad-lib it all anyway. Yes, of course. I am your lawyer, after all.
Here's that smile again. Why does it always creep me out?
Because it's creepy. And he loses like half of the volume of his face to do it.
Why did you confess? Well, this is an easy one. About your confession, Junie. It's not true, is it? You just said what you did because Robin had confessed to the crime on the stand, didn't you? Yes. I wasn't thinking straight. All I knew was I had to help my friend. You mean because of that school rule? The one that says you can't graduate if you're convicted of a crime. No, I didn't do it because of some rule. I did it because she's my friend. Why is there discord in her voice again? Could it really be that the friendship between the 3 of them is on the rocks?
Well, even if they're not, they were going through a rough patch with friends. I can see her wanting to protect her because it wasn't her. She didn't believe that Robin had done it.
There's more here than meets the eye. Apollo, do something.
The trio's friendship.
When did you 3 first become friends? Well, even though we were in different courses, we really bonded from the first day at school. We vowed to work together to bring an end to the dark age of the law. That was when our proof of friendship came about.
This bracelet or charm or whatever it is we've heard so little about.
There's that proof of friendship thing again. I just wish this were as simple as that.
We even have proof of our friendship.
Yeah! So does our friendship last! He could be carrying him around!
But the situation kind of changed recently. When the school's policy shifted to training legal professionals who produce results.
Allow me to explain. In the lawyer course I teach, producing results means winning trials. Professor Court, on the other hand, taught that finding the truth was the only valid result. Unfortunately, that clash of ideals created a rift among our students.
At some point, we stopped talking about it. While that meant fewer arguments, it also meant we couldn't be as frank and open with each other as we used to be.
You mean to say that one of you, I'm presuming you, felt that Professor Court's way was right, and the others not so much?
I think I understand now. By putting their friendship on a pedestal, they actually did more harm than good. It seems the relationship between the three of them isn't as simple as I thought. Juniper, thank you for talking to us about this difficult subject.
I guess they'd have to be following the different teachings, considering means to teach the lawyer course. We haven't met the prosecutor teacher, have we? I guess they're still a suspect since we don't know anything about them. And it's not unheard of for them to only introduce the killer, like, on the second day and everything.
Yeah, thanks, Junie. Now, if you could tell us about the day of the murder. Junie, you told us yesterday that you went to home a little after 6 p.m. Was that a lie? I'm sorry I didn't tell you this before, but what actually happened was I left the art room a little after 6 p.m. and headed over to my dressing room where I worked on my stage costume until 7.
That's it. You didn't go anywhere else?
No, nowhere else. If that really were it, then there would be no reason to lie in the first place.
She's gotta be hiding something else. Apollo.
Junie, do you remember this picture?
Yes?
But, something's wrong here.
Wrong? What's wrong? Uh-oh, you mean to say someone's doctored this?
I took this picture at around 6, which was before I left the art room.
Would the moon have been directly in the sky at 6? I was thinking because at 7, and I was like, it's originally Japanese, so I was like, I don't really know. I know doesn't the sun rises earlier at like 4 or something like that, tends to around in Japan. So I thought maybe sun sets later or earlier, and I just didn't realize. But 6 seems maybe a bit iffy.
But the clock here says it's just after 7.
Is there any way to prove that clock was bust? Maybe.
By 7, I'd already been working in my dressing room for some time, so there's definitely something wrong with the time in this picture.
I guess we better go check the art room. So wait, but you do remember, you did take that picture and all, right? You took this picture. Okay, so this picture is for real. Okay, just one last question about the day of the murder. Encountering Okada. On the evening before the mock trial, the evening of the murder, you ran into Hugh.
Yes, I did.
Oh man, she's stressing about it. At around 7:15, I went to the main building before going home. That's when I saw Juniper. We didn't say much as we passed by each other. She seemed her usual self. That's it. Anything else you'd like to ask? Is it just me, or is it weird also that he was testifying basically against Juniper for some time, but then offered the confession himself? I guess it only struck him at the end, just how screwed she'd be if he didn't uphold their whole 3-way confession thing. Also, I just noticed the really clever double entendre of the whole thing about there being a confession of love going on amidst all this, all the actual confessions of murder.
She suddenly went silent. She always was terrible at hiding things. Was she trying to keep their meeting a secret by lying about going home at 6? Alright, I won't press the matter any further. Is there anything else?
Why not? I don't know, we don't want to stress her out anymore, I guess. She's in ill enough health as it is.
Is there anything else you noticed on the night of the murder? Well, I don't know if this will help, but that evening I went back to my dressing room to get something I'd forgotten there. It was well after the last bell rang. I'd say maybe around 8:30.
Around 8:30, huh? It's over an hour after when the crime supposedly took place.
That's when I noticed both stage statues were finished. They were quite large, and they were each covered with a white sheet, but I could tell. It made me happy to think that after all that hard work, they were finally finished.
Oh, right. The statues that Robin made. So they were covered in white sheets. We saw something like that. But interesting that they were not broken by the murder, according to to what you've just told us.
Junie, are you okay? Sorry. I'm a little tired, that's all. Athena, I think this meeting is over. Professor Means?
Did that just say Athena over Apollo's dialogue? No, it didn't. I will use any means possible to get the result I want in Juniper's case. But it will require considerable preparation, so I must be off.
nailed it! Junie, and Professor Means, I have a proposal. A proposal? Wait, this isn't another one of your crazy... By sundown today, yes? I, Athena Cykes, along with Apollo Justice... Oh, wait a second, don't drag my name into... We're going to discover the truth behind this murder mystery. What? And we're going to bring you to solid evidence showing just what that truth is.
I see. So it has come to this, has it?
If we succeed in doing that, I want you to promise that you'll accept it, Junie, no matter how hard it is to hear. Then you shouldn't need anyone else to defend you except me. Have we got a deal? I trust that's okay with you too, Professor Means.
I have no objections as long as Juniper is satisfied with this arrangement.
Okay. But only if it's the real truth. I'm sorry to put you through this, Athena. But thank you. I've been thinking only of myself this whole time. Junie, it's way too early to thank me. But you can thank me all you want once I get to the bottom of this.
Very well. I will see you back here at sundown.
Sorry for all the trouble, Professor. It's just, she's new to the agency, so...
Don't be silly. I find it all rather thrilling. Now, let us meet here again later.
That was interesting.
If you'll excuse me, I better go.
I think it was just seeing her in distress that caused Athena to snap to action there, because her condition was clearly like worsening and she was getting quite unwell.
If you'll excuse me, I better go. Okay, see you later.
Nice going though. Now I feel invigorated.
But if this trial proceeds in the same manner and ends in the same way as the mock trial, would you not lose everything you've worked so hard to gain?
This is no time to be thinking about that. I've got an investigation to do. I will find the truth by sundown, no matter what.
Right. Hi, Apollo. And bye, Apollo, because that's all the time we have for this episode, unfortunately. But it's time to renew our investigation in earnest. I think the fact that we haven't met the prosecution professor is highly suspect, but it could easily have been another quite overzealous student. But at this point, I'm finding it unlikely that it was the three of the students. I'm guessing that video at the beginning was just supposed to show us that they're going to cover for each other and each say that they had something to do with the murder. Although I'm a little weirded out because that Euro Connor solve that I have been priding myself on so much. If Hugh wasn't in the art room at that time, then someone really was shouting something else. Never mind. Point is, we've got stuff to do, stuff to present to Paulo here, and many more interviews to happen. There's the weirdest thing about this to me at the moment. The two weirdest things to me at the moment. The three weirdest things about this to me at the moment. Two of which have to do with this photograph. One, we found small bits of rubble, not nearly enough to be the broken bust, because those statues were huge. And they're a little more than bust, I guess. They're at the waist. But, this looks like more appropriate size for the rubble that we saw. So if this got hucked out the window, that would also explain the crashing noise we heard, which means that the statues were removed from there some other time because they were there when Juniper was there the night prior. The painting of her, as far as we know, street clothes after this, just being in the room is very strange and obviously present in the frame. Obviously the clock discrepancy is weird, but we'll get to the bottom of that soon enough. But then there's the thing that they said that it was such a random detail that I can't imagine they threw it out for no reason, that Hugh said the dressing rooms do not have any windows. And we don't have that photograph of the person with the cloak, but the door that they were opening had a window on it. So that wasn't taken in the dressing room. And I still don't believe that it was Robin, because the skin tone was wrong. And you might say, well, they just used a sort of generic white skin tone just to keep it ambiguous who it was. But you could easily have just put them with gloves and then not shown their nose. And then we wouldn't have been able... you could have just added gloves to the costume. From a game designer's perspective, I'm saying. And then the player would have been none the wiser about who was under that. Except for the other details they had to find. Anyway, so lots of weird stuff still. Nothing quite as concrete as the Robin is a girl solve and the Hugh O'Connor You're a Goner solve that I made previously. I don't have anything where I'm quite I know this is going to come up in the next trial section. And specifically how it will come up. But lots of little weird things. And... am I right that her planner was in her pocket for the fake picture? Do we even have the fake picture? Of course we don't. But in the actual murder picture, it sort of had fallen out of her pocket on the ground. And also there was the weirdness of her hand seemingly having been bound. Sorry, but that's the last thing. Next video on the channel is going to be some more Verdant Wind Assassins. And next time here, we'll be getting into the investigation. We'll probably take a few more episodes, and then we'll get into the next trial, which I hope / presume is the last one. We'll meet back to here at sundown. Don't worry, Juniper. You know you're innocent. We know you're innocent. I'll just have to show everyone else. And the awe. Weirdness of the all. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I will see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace. Oh, god damn it. How is it always the wrong one going first? I'll kill you. Oh, I don't even have the curve shot here because I'm still on E. All right, well, I kind of bugged that. That's probably going down, but let's hope not. Oh, Ignatz went down. But let's see, I think it's also going down. Just so I wanted to make sure that was what was happening. Okay, sorry.